Could you give me a second? I gotta wake up. Now that I'm more refreshed and a little bit more awake, let's talk about refreshing and rebranding within product design. Before we get ahead of ourselves though, let's make sure we understand what rebranding actually is. Now within marketing and graphic design, we have a thing called brand identity. Brand identity is, in visual terms, the brand itself. Now when we have a refresh or a rebranding, that means we are taking that identity and changing it a little bit. Now a refresh is when we tweak subtle things, or it could be major, but a rebrand is when you're taking the complete identity of the company and totally flipping it on its head. Taking a step closer in the rebranding, we look at Lee Mills and how they've chosen to rebrand within their products. Looking at their muffin boxes, we can see how a brand can change everything. All right, here in my kitchen, I have both of Lee Mills' old and new packaging for their raspberry muffin boxes. Now, to depict this, let's get started on the front.
First, let's address the logo change. We went from a Roman serif with a singular wheat imagery and banner roll to a monoscript held inside of a red beveled rectangle. This update helps the logo stand alone while maintaining brand identity. These changes were made to help influence the company's playfulness and encourage a younger audience. Looking at the logo on the front of package, we see it standing at the same level of hierarchy as the old package. Moving on, we see the changes of the color palettes, going from a very earth tone and deep maroon to the use of red and blue. These vibrant primary colors help transform the audience of this packaging, allowing them to stay on trend and keeping them more identifiable on the shelves. Across the majority of the new front of package, we see a front-facing perspective of this delicious muffin. Adjusting the brightness and making the tones seem more appealing, the unlined muffin increases the sense of home-cooked feel with an addition of large sugar crystals and fruit. This improves user experience as the product now looks way more appealing than it did before. Placed to the right of the muffins, we find the serving suggestions. The serving suggestions have moved up in hierarchy as the font size has increased. This has overall improved functionality as it is an important piece of information that is now easier to find. Above the muffin, we find a new flavor cue and ingredient callout. This new addition helps customers understand the natural ingredients that are in this mix. This cue is well designed as it is given a rule to establish its hierarchy on the box. Centered right underneath the muffin, we find that the product's title has moved up in hierarchy. It has also adjusted from a Roman serif to a bold beveled serif, making the box feel more youthful and also allowing for an easier readability. Centered underneath the product title is the raspberry flavor cue. As it has moved down in hierarchy, it pays homage to the banner roll found in the old logo. In addition, the flavor cue has the same bolder serif font that is found in the product title.
Cooking can be kind of hectic. Now let's find out how easy these things are really to make by looking at the back of the packaging.
Here on the back, we find a new two-section stacked layout. Creating a greater use of negative space, both sections allow information to be read and properly absorbed, in addition to organizing information and helping the package seem simplistic. Furthering this simplistic look, we see a change in imagery. From hyper-realistic images to solid vector illustrations, we find that these help reference the product's ease and simplicity in baking instructions. In a lower section, we find that the heading is placed in a blue rule, helping the rule at the top section to hold a higher hierarchy, as it is placed in a red rule. This allows customers to know what information they will most likely need to read. While the old package is lacking in visuals, the new is organized and has helpful icons. These icons are placed at the bottom of the box and help illustrate the company's values rather than placing them in writing. In addition, these icons help aid in the new brand identity of the company. Transitioning to the left side of the box, we see the product's nutrition facts in a new landscape. Making no changes to the information on the nutritional facts, the new package adds a level of consistency by making the background of the info the same as the cream used on the logo type, as well as a smaller font for the list. From the added space above the ingredients, the viewer can distinguish between nutrition facts and ingredients. This increases the ease of location. In addition, the type size of the ingredients is taken down, but still remains readable. The manufacturer information is justified and centered. This layout allows the copy information to be fully distinguished with negative space padding around the copy. thus giving the information shows off their in-house production. Adding on to the pre-existing kosher icon, we find a Made in Utah icon. This adds an additional fun as customers love to know where their food comes from. Putting Lehi Mills' website at the bottom of the side aids in the visual balance of it, along with providing another interaction with the brand's URL. Similar to the left side of the package, we find that the logo type is at the top of the box, placing hierarchy of the importance of the brand, flavor cue, and visual representation. The only difference from this side is now that we have that visual aid of the actual muffin. This copy originally was placed at the back of the old packaging. Now it lives here on the right side. This relocation has allowed the information to be easily digested by giving it more negative space. Using the new peacock icon, Lehi Mills symbolizes their pride and quality, allowing customers to build a relationship knowing that they can always trust this symbol. Using a universal username, Lehi Mills can present their forms of social media in a visual display. Retaining the balance of the bottom, this side we find a meaningful hashtag in place of the site's URL. The same callout from the front of the package returns to get some more view time. This callout is informing the viewer to know the quality of their product in a written form. This brings more value to a brand rather than a phrase or tagline like the old packaging. In support of the callout, the pecan icon is placed above the tab to visually mark the quality of all Lehi Mills products and facilities.
Last but not least, let's see how they elevated their bottoms.
Continuing their playful tone, Lehi Mills creates a silhouette of their factories and mills within their barcode. They can still do this since 40% of their scanner is visible. Taking the world into consideration, Lehi Mills has rebranded to be FCS certified, making all of their packaging materials non-destructive to the environment. The fully recyclable icon indicates this box and all of its contents can be recycled. Changing their efforts on the environment, while costly, can help them gain their target market.
Next time you guys go to the grocery store, you might just find yourself a rebrand or refresh. By simply looking past some of the newer products, you might just find something familiar. Thanks again so much for watching, you guys. I hope you have a good day.